of State for his statement and early sight of it. He said that the UK would look forward with confidence. It was signalled to future partners that we were outward-facing. May I disagree? I think all of the plans risk making the UK a smaller, insular and more isolated place. He spoke about a truly global Britain and being the best possible allies with the EU. I fear that was rather contradicted by what the Prime Minister said in his written statement today, that there would not be any regulatory alignment, any at all, even on the efficacy of medicines. There would be no supranational control of any area of UK policy. Mr. Speaker, the WTO has an appellate body, a dispute resolution body. EFTA has a court to deal with disputes. Even the much vaunted CPTPP has an investor-state dispute resolution mechanism. Now, unless the English language has changed, every single one of these bodies and mechanisms has supranational effect. It may well be natural as well. Does the Secretary of State not understand that if our putative trading partners insist on formal dispute resolution mechanisms or institutions, saying no may risk the UK being seen as abandoning the international rules-based system? Does he not understand that by rejecting formal dispute mechanisms or institutions, if our partners insist on them, will make it harder, not easier, to strike deals? And does he not understand, finally, that even if the UK reverts to WTO rules, the UK's favoured option, outside any real agreements, they have an appellate body, they have a dispute resolution body, which is supranational in its effect, thus rendering the red lines laid out by the Prime Minister this morning utterly useless before the ink is dry on them.
Well, I thank the honourable gentleman. He referred at the outset to an approach which was smaller, insular and isolated. I'm afraid that sounded like the recipe of the SNP for the people of Scotland. On our side of the House, we want one United Kingdom proceeding forward, ready to grasp the opportunities, including for the Scottish people, including making sure we've got full control as an independent coastal state over our fisheries, which is one thing that he would clearly be willing to sacrifice at the drop of a hat. It's astonishing that the SNP, as it understandably, given the views that its leadership takes, calls for more and more powers to be devolved to the Scottish Parliament, but wants to give up power to unelected bureaucrats in Brussels through what he calls dynamic legislative high alignment. There's a total contradiction in the position that he takes. And then he also referred to the dispute resolution mechanism. The dispute resolution mechanism that the UK government will approach these negotiations in the same way as we did in relation to the withdrawal agreement, although this will be different and therefore tailored to the free trade and the other areas of security cooperation, is to make sure that there is a track for negotiated diplomacy to resolve through political resolution problems that arise. Secondly, in relation to where it's necessary, arbitration. And the common practice with arbitration is that both sides appoint arbitrators, they appoint a chair. The one thing you would never do, which the EU calls for, and which the SNP seems to endorse, is to allow one side's judicial institutions to have control over the dispute resolution mechanism for both sides. That is entirely lopsided and is a fundamental abdication of responsibility of any responsible government, and we will not go down that path. I appreciate that he will continue to make, in his own way, the arguments that he wishes, in a blinkered way, for a second referendum on Scotland. In the meantime, we will continue to work in the full interest of the whole United Kingdom and take this country together, united, forward.